This is a sports catastrophe production. Hey there, hello, there's Jeff Goodard. I want to welcome you to another sports catastrophe on the stage. And on this day, 31 years ago, in 1990, in the midst of one of the biggest years for no-hitters in history, with 7, 2 of them were thrown in one day. Yes, there were many no-hitters in the 1990s, including Randy Johnson surprisingly throwing a no-hitter in his first full season in Mariners gear. Expos fans must have been pissed. Also, off the top of my head, I remember I would have said Terry Mulholland. Yeah, I think Terry Mulholland he threw a no-hitter in Philadelphia against the Giants. I think there was 1 or 2 combined no-hitters. And of course, the best no-hitter in 1990 was Dave Steve, finally, after 4 chances to throw a no-hitter and got denied. 1 in 1985, 2 back-to-back starts in 1988 to end the season, and a perfect game bid ruined August of 1989 by Roberto Kelly. He finally got his no-hitter against Cleveland. But, strange as it sounds, this is not the Dave Steve no-hitter. We're talking about the 2 no-hitters on the same day. The Oakland A's and the Toronto Blue Jays were playing. And all that. So, first and foremost, the Blue Jays were second in the AL East to start the day, 41-35. 3.5 back of Boston. In the West, Oakland and the White Sox were technically tied, but the White Sox had played fewer games, so they technically had the better win percentage. So Toronto and Oakland were both second places in their divisions. Meanwhile, Los Angeles took on St. Louis across the country. LA was third in the division, 1 game below 500, and behind Cincy and San Fran, whereas St. Louis was not in a good spot in their. They were last in the NL East. Montreal was chasing for the NL East crown, but the Mets and Pirates being the top 2. So anyway, Oakland would take on Toronto at 7:40 in a game that both ESPN and CTV would broadcast. On the hill for Oakland was Dave Stewart. Toronto countered with the late John Cerruti. Oakland had a decent lineup. They had a legendary lineup. Ricky Henderson, Dave Henderson, Carney Lansford, Mark McGwire, Terry Steinbach, Willie Randolph, and Walt Weiss were good. I'm sorry about Felix Jose and Mike Gallego, but I don't think highly of them. The Blue Jays' starting lineup was Junior Felix, Tony Fernandez, Kelly Gruber, George Bell, Fred McGriff, John Olerud, Greg Myers, Manny Lee, and Mookie Wilson. Surprised they put Mookie Wilson in the 9-hole. So anyway, over 49,000 fans were clamoring to watch. The Blue Jays had a runner on first base in the first inning. They had 2 walks, but Junior Felix got caught stealing. Blue Jays went down swiftly in the second. Dave Henderson knocked a 2-run shot off Cerruti in the 3rd inning. And then the Blue Jays went 1-2-3 in the 3rd. In the 4th, 1-2-3. After Ricky Henderson hit a 2-run home run to make it 4-0, the Blue Jays went down in the bottom of the 5th. Bottom of the 6th, they got nothing. Ricky Henderson hit a sac fly to make it 5-0 in the 7th. Stewart again did fantastic. And in the bottom of the 8th, they went down swinging. So basically, after those 2 walks, nobody got on base for the Blue Jays. Bottom of the 9th, Manny Lee came in and struck out swinging, as did Mookie. Junior Felix worked a walk on a payoff pitch, which is 3 balls, 2 strikes. So he walked, and then Tony Fernandez on an 0-1 pitch decided to hit the ball, and he popped it up right to the center fielder, right to Dave Henderson, and the game was over. The Blue Jays were no hit against, but the fans in Toronto were dancing and were basically cheering for Dave Stewart's no-hitter, which was weird. I think Stewart probably thought it was weird that the Blue Jay fans were cheering for him. So anyway, he did pretty well. He got a 12 He had a 12 strikeout, 3-walk day, but he didn't give up a hit. He threw 115 pitches. So, good for him. 3 years later, the Blue Jays would pick up Dave Stewart in free agency, and he helped them win the '93 World Series. The Blue Jays would end up losing the division to Boston on the final day of the 1990 campaign, and Oakland did win the division and would go on to lose to Cincy in 4 straight in the World Series, which kind of shocked me. So we go from Toronto to Los Angeles, where the Cardinals, who weren't really that good, would take on the Dodgers. That game started at 10:35. Of course, it's Eastern, with over 38,000 fans. The Cardinals sent Jose De Leon on the mound against Fernando Valenzuela. Now, Fernando was basically a power pitcher, and when he was in his rookie year in 1981, it was Fernando Mania. So many shutouts, the low ERA. Basically, he helped the Dodgers win the World Series in 1981. He kind of slowed down due to injuries and all that, but he still was a decent pitcher and all that. But now he was wearing glasses and all that. The Cardinals' starting lineup was Vince Coleman, Willie McGee, Pedro Guerrero, Todd Seal as a catcher, wow, Terry Pendleton, Jose Oquendo, Rex Hudler, Ozzie Smith, and then of course the pitcher spot was ninth because in the National League that's what happens. The Dodgers had Lenny Harris, Stan Javier, Kirk Gibson, Eddie Murray, Huey Brooks, Mike Scioscia, Juan Samuel, Alfredo Griffin, and Fernando Valenzuela as their batting lineup. So the Cardinals got a base runner on thanks to an error by the left fielder, but Todd Seal would fly out. Huey Brooks hit a sac fly in the first inning. Cardinals went down easily in the second, and in the third, and in the fourth, and in the fifth. Stan Javier would make a fielder's choice that got him an RBI, made it 2-0. St. Louis in the sixth, nothing doing. In the bottom of the sixth, Huey Brooks went deep to make it 3-0. Cardinals actually did, of course, a couple walks. Pedro Guerrero and Todd Seal took walks, but Pendleton flew out and Oquendo grounded out. Kirk Gibson would score a 2-run single in the seventh to make it 5-0. In the top of the eighth, the Cardinals couldn't get anything going. In the bottom of the eighth, Juan Samuel hit a leadoff home run to make it 6-0. And then in the ninth, Fernando knew he had the no-hitter. So he got Vince Coleman looking at a strikeout. He walked Willie McGee, and then Pedro Guerrero comes up to the plate. Now, of course, the fans in LA were upset because Guerrero probably left LA on bad terms and all that. And Pedro grounded out on an 0-2 pitch to second base to first. And basically, the double play ended the game in St. Louis. Ended up getting no hit against. That game also was on ESPN with, I think, Gary Thorne doing the call. Fernando's line, 7 strikeouts, 3 walks, 119 pitches. So, yeah, Fernando did okay and all that. So, let us not forget that, no-hitters are dropping like flies. And now in 2021, we have 7 no-hitters. A couple of them have been combined no-hitters. Is there something with the ball? Is there something fishy going on? I don't know. But anyway, I'm not here to talk about controversies. Anyway, I'm Jeff Diamond. I do.